A super Sunday in Sano, day 2 of the Japan Premier League 2025 JPL 10. Moving day here at the home of Japanese cricket. Welcome into the Japan Cricket Association channel for moving day here at the home of Japanese cricket. Glad to be bringing it with you. Garth Thomas with me, Daniel Beswick in the comm box. South Kanto Super Kings taking on the currently top of the table Kansai Chargers. Both teams here on the number 1 ground, impressing yesterday and both winning their respective afternoon fixtures. Kansai top of the table thanks to that win in the afternoon on top of the washout to begin the day on field number 2, but happy to report that both games will start on time here at the XICG. And with a bit of luck, an uninterrupted day of cricket. They're almost ready to go here as the umpires walk out onto the field. And we've got an exciting day of cricket on our hands here. We saw a lot of quality across the board, I think. I think one of the things that we discussed at length yesterday was the talent coming through, not necessarily the senior international side of things or even from a marquee side of things. It was very much a case of some of the Japan A and other domestic players stepping up. And what was a high quality day of cricket yesterday, very impressive across the board.
Very true, Daniel. It was, as you say, players from both the Japan national squad and the A squad making their mark yesterday. Not forget Kazumasa's Hiratsuka's 71 not out in the end. Brilliant innings and a losing cause, unfortunately, for North Kanto. But yeah, looking forward to this top of the table clash, I guess, between Kansai Chargers and South Kanto Super Kings. The weather forecast currently is clear. We've got a bit of cloud over top of us. It's around 20 degrees. Yeah, it looks pretty good. We may get a bit of rain at 3 o'clock, but just a small amount, perhaps less than a millimetre. So no problems for this game. Kansai Chargers just in a huddle off the ground. They'll shortly make their way out. Umpires, as you can see, are already in the middle.
We'll just run through the lineups with you. A couple of changes for South Kanto from their win yesterday afternoon. Saborish Ravichandran, of course, leads the team. Kohei Kubota in today, Japanese international. Charlie Hutter-Hins, who was impressive yesterday. Sam Wilson, of course, their marquee man. Dylan Fujioka-Fletcher took an unbelievable catch down here in front of us at long on. Shogo Kimura, Masato Morida's off spin. I'm sure we'll see Marcus Thurgate, Shakib Hassan, Dos Muhammad, who was impressive with his pace yesterday, and Noor Muhammad Ibrahim coming into the team. And for the Chargers, well, as we mentioned, they've made the early running. Abdul Samad, Makoto Taniyama, Jackson Suzuki Makoma, of course, leading the team. Jack Wood, their international signing. Alex Shirai Patmore in as well. Harab Tawari, Kai Wall, Masashi Fukuhara, with Kulal, Melinda and Pankaj Cham make up the 11 today. First time we've had a chance to properly get a look at the Chargers. Of course, they played on the field next to us in the afternoon, but by all reports were impressive in conditions. The wicket over on number 2 is a little bit soggy and a little bit tough to bat on, but to beat the defending champions in the afternoon in East Country Sunrisers is no mean feat and sends a statement to the rest of the competition.
Yeah, certainly does. And in that game, Abdul Samad taking 3 for 10. So Declan Suzuki putting on, I think, 35 for the bat. It was a good win for them. On the other side, South Kanto, we saw Saborish Ravichandran really lead his team to victory yesterday over North Kanto.
Alex Shirai Patmore, of course, behind the stumps, just hitting the angles right in the field. Underway here, day 2 of the JPL, Kansai versus South Kanto. Quick start, and shout went up from leg side field, probably not going on to hit leg stump. But an inquiry start from Tawari. Kimura couldn't quite get going yesterday afternoon. He was beaten by James Baisley. A matchup of sorts, and a matchup you almost never see on a cricket field. Such as the mix of talent and people here at the JPL, which has been great to see. Driven, Kimura takes off for one. Well run single to get off the mark. Fletcher. On strike, he looked really comfortable yesterday with bat in hand, even against some top opposition. Took a great catch as well. He had a bit of a day out and a good win for the Super Kings. With 21 off 15 deliveries, 3, 4 and 6. Well, he was done LBW by maybe a ball that kept a little bit low. Chase joined us yesterday.
You hit a couple of stunning shots, didn't you, Fujioka Fletcher? Taking Baisley for a couple of boundaries. 20 years of age, I believe, is Fujioka Fletcher, out of the Bay of Plenty region in New Zealand, across for this tournament. Probably been in Japan for the best of a month, perhaps. He's over here for the Futures League as well.
They try and wedge that in between the 2 point fielders, but with no luck. Keep you updated with the match on the other ground as well, going on without a hitch, thankfully, on field 2.
Both teams will be desperate for a win on ground 2, aren't they? Both teams sitting at the bottom of the table currently.
Well, certainly both had their moments yesterday. Certainly weren't terrible defeats for either of them here on field 1. Just trying to hit that one a little bit too hard for John Fletcher against it. Shirai Patmore. It was, both games sort of had ebbs and flows to them. There were both teams in each game sort of had the upper hand at different stages of the game. Had, you know, West Kansai, they got off to such a good start with the ball, only for East Kansai Sunrisers to hit themselves out of trouble. Takahashi and Benjamin Davis yesterday. Great, we've just seen a wicket fall over on the other field, and West Kansai sound like they've made a breakthrough. Fujioka Fletcher takes on mid-off, clean hit. Oh, would have probably been out. Clean pick up by the mid-off fielder. We knew probably not one there, but Fujioka Fletcher remains unscathed and will take the first ball of the second over here on field number 1. 2 for no loss. Stafford taking that wicket over on the other field. Catch taken by the much awaited Josh Brown, who is here today. I'm not sure we really got a chance to tell the whole story of Josh Brown's absence on day 1. We might have a chance, maybe not in this over with some spin, but it is certainly a tale. And I can tell you that Pendle Kadawaki Fleming, who's organising Brown's stay over here, was at 6s and 7s trying to sort all of that. And I'm sure it's not something that Pendle wants to think about too much, considering that he's also here playing and leading a team at the tournament. He's wearing many hats here, Pendle Kadawaki Fleming.
All overthrow here. Pick up an extra 1. All bit of indecision. and in the end home safely. But a bit of a mix-up there for the batsman.
Thought for a moment there with that ball hitting the stumps of the other end, we might have had overthrows on top of overthrows. Samad taking the new ball here at the high school end. And these two in the middle didn't really get much of a chance to bat together yesterday, with Kamura being dismissed early. Sliced over the cover fielder, won't run away to the boundary. Should pick up an easy 2. Power play, of course, first 6 overs as per normal T20 regulations. Man out deep square, as well as the long on. It looks like they've put marquee man Jack Wood in the hot zone there at deep mid wicket. Almost rolled back onto good joke for Fletcher. Didn't know too much about that one. Oh, a little tickle, is it? Yes, it's been given. Fujioka Fletcher, no protestation. He knew. And the left arm orthodox does its job. The first breakthrough. The Chargers on a bit of a roll here, the SICG.
Yeah, Abdul Samad continues where he left off yesterday, just heading to his wicket column again. He's been in and out of the Japan national squad. I think he made his debut against Mongolia last year. But, the left arm off spinner takes the first scalp here. Perfect conditions at the moment here at Sano International Cricket Ground.
We find ourselves already here at a bit of a turning point here in this tournament. Sam Wilson, new batter for the South Kansai Super Kings, and really desperate to make a start of note. Didn't get going yesterday. 2 left-handers against the left arm orthodox. He was dismissed by spin yesterday as well. Pulling some off spin away from the left-hander, so tricky proposition batting on this deck yesterday, even though we did see some scores of note. The wicket was a little bit too pace at times. To knock that one back. I think he knows that he's got time on his side here, even in T20 cricket. He's got a little bit more time than you think. Half a shout. The appeal wasn't particularly convincing, and I don't think he was going on to clip off stump leg by signal. Wilson remains not out. He'll retain a strike for over number 3. Good start here from the Kansai Chargers. 5-1. I've got myself mixed up with both scorecards here to begin the day. We didn't have that problem in the morning yesterday, of course, with the other match on field number 2 not going ahead in the morning.
So 2 left-handers at the wicket.
Why might be a good chance for us to tell the Josh Brown story. So
yeah,
a couple of days ago, I'm going to say 3 days ago, Josh Brown was ready to take off from Brisbane Airport on a direct flight to Tokyo. I'm not sure if it was Narita or Haneda, I don't think it really matters. And he rocked up to check in, and his passport had been damaged. It was wet, and I think the alleged substance, as we said yesterday, was cologne that was somehow spilled onto his passport. We'll get to the second half of that story in a second. Here's our oh, an inside edge. Wilson beaten there. And they said to Brown at the airport, look, we'll check you in. We can let you get on the flight. We believe, though, that the passport's not going to be accepted when you get to the other side, and that's of course really dangerous if you're flown all the way over it, only to be detained by immigration. So they ripped up his passport, cut his passport in half. He applied for an emergency passport, paid upwards of $1,000 Australian for it. Got the paperwork done, got it within the day. I think that 4 p.m. state deadline, so he had to get it sorted, and was on a flight the next day. And here he is, here in Japan. Maria to the leg side, no run. I was here in the tea room. A lot of this was going on, and Pendle's trying to plan a JPL team while being called by Josh Brown in the corner of the tea room, having a good old conversation about cricket. And he's like, sorry, I have to take this. Well, I think you've got a decent excuse to be interrupted by a phone call here. I think in terms of priorities, I think that's way up the chain on the list. Thankfully, everything was done. He only missed the one match because Wisconsin had a bye in the afternoon. So we'll inform you here today. Well, outside edge. Should beat the man at backward point before it will. I'm not sure how educated that Kimura shot was. He did open up the face. I'm not sure if this was quite where he intended it, but I don't think he'll care too much, Garth Thomas.
Yeah, no. Yeah, interesting story. It wasn't about Josh Brown. Someone said to me yesterday, was it cologne or cognac that was spilled? Shogo Kimura, the ex-professional baseballer, of course. Baseball for a number of years, I believe over 10 years for Hiroshima Carp.
He tried to load up there. Probably the right ball to do it. Didn't execute on that occasion. Some good numbers on the stream. We see the numbers swell again into the day as people around the world waking up and watching cricket wherever you are around the world. Good morning. How's it going, Sunny Sano here on Sunday. I think this might have been too noisy to wait. The signal not massive appeal from Kansai hasn't given late bars though.
Tiwari has protection on the boundary, both at fine leg and third man, quite wide, both of them.
On the left side. Outstretched wide signal. Really impressive South Kanto Super Kings yesterday in their chase, even with the loss of 3-2. Yeah. Early they were able to rebuild and this time for the biggest in Ravi Chandran and Charlie Hurricane. Well, I was going to say unbeaten. In the end, Hurricane was run out. Just wasn't really run. Not quite there for Wilson. At the end of the third over, 14 to for 1. So yeah, if you just joined us yesterday, South Kanto Super Kings beat North Kanto Lions in the afternoon game, chasing the score in the 140. But as you mentioned, guys, they were 3 down inside the power play. And then the partnership between Robert Chandler and Charlie Hurricanes. Hurricanes races back for half century, and Chandler followed not long after that. Chandler remained not out, but as Robert Chandler tried to get the winning run, he poked one straight to the man in the infield who completed the run out, and then the Hurricanes finished dismissed.
Yeah, they'll probably keep the same batting order perhaps, won't
Yeah.
they? So, Hurricanes coming in at 4.
Oh, a bit of turn and bounce there for Samad. Sure, the spin group of South Kanto will be licking their lips after seeing that in the 10th. Not too sure how they feel about it from a batting point of view, though. For a moment, they might try to lean into that one and here seem to hit towards some high school fielding and to defend again. Back in the length on this occasion. Samad's been good with his pace control so far. Rocking a shot from the North Kanto line over the other field. More up in the leg side again.
You don't get to see a lot of Samad players cricket. This player is based in Callback. So, particular competition, Division 2. It's generally played here in Sana. It's done a good job for his team. Just keeping Shogo Kimura in defensive mode at this stage. On the boundary, a long on, deep mid wicket. Key area for Shogo Kimura.
He tries this time, Kimura almost meets his downfall, and then you'll get 1. Over number 4 completed. 16 for 1. 2 games going in a very similar pattern. North Kanto Lions 14 for 1 after 4 on the other field. James Baisley in for the Lions, and eager to get into his work.
Yeah, they've made a change of their batting order, haven't they, North Kanto? COVID in earlier than yesterday. Came out at number 7 yesterday, but he was out there at the moment. Alongside James Baisley.
Differentiate him and Baisley over there, even 250 metres away. James Baisley still at 200 centimetres tall. It's only about 100 James Baisleys from here to that wicket, if you put it, when you think about it. I'm not a mathematician, but it rounds out nicely when you're exactly 200 centimetres tall. New bowler for Kansai. Off spin. Really looking to one past that backward point fielder, but with no luck. Full toss with Kimura can really find the man sweeping out in the deep for 1. both men out on the leg side of going on in back in square respectively. Still almost over the power play here. Back to the bowler, force the two more men. Brisbane, almost okay there. From the cut off the 20. Connections there north of the New South Wales border. Should get one in this field there. Really mattered. Also moves two. What we're going to make. He was beaten by some good quality off spin. Yesterday.
Yeah, who could forget that celebration from Ash Thurgate in the catch?
I'm sure they've got it in the highlights package on the JCA YouTube channel. Make sure to go see that from yesterday. The end of over at number 5, South Contour. Ticking along now, one from North Auckland to 19 for 1. We took the catch in front of us here at mid-off, and I think by the time we got through the replay and the players had actually got to him around on the ground, he'd run all the way over about 45 metres to square leg at the time. James Basie, I think, was the first guy to meet him, and it took Basie about 10 steps to get to him. It's funny because the night previous is that we'd actually sort of been out, had dinner and kind of met up in the sauna. I think the boys took a real liking to Ash and the way he sort of, the cut of his jib, I think is probably the best way to describe Ash.
Yeah, he's a likeable fellow, is Ash. Plenty of character about him. Didn't have a bowl yesterday, did he?
No, it was a shame. First Toby. Been told that he was rocking number 55. Looks like he's got number 15 on his back. It's actually funny. We ran into the Walk family who were on the walk in. Told us that thought it was a weekend thing and they'd had to extend their stay by a day to make sure he's here for the whole tournament. Big single. Kimura, so Hiromi and the family had to check out the one hotel, check into a different one, move the flight back by a day, back home as well. Commitment to the cause.
Yep. Fresh off a pretty good series in the under-19s.
Bowled him. Sam Wilson is cleaned up by the under-19 international. Kai Wall's dream week in Sano continues. And what a player to have in your back pocket. Maybe a fraction of movement away from the right-hander. Wilson maybe trying to hit that 2 square on the leg side. But
what a scalp for young Kai Wall. He does get a bit of movement, doesn't he? I remember a couple of wickets against Papua New Guinea. Had a couple of good right-handers from the ball moving in.
Hold his head up high, knowing that he played a key role in that qualification. And I know he probably didn't bowl as many overs as he would have liked because spin dominated and spin was brought in early a lot. But between him and Zuma Couple Stafford, at times they opened it up with quick wickets at each end, and it just put the opposition in a hole where the spinners were able to get into their work earlier and push the foot down even harder. They definitely played their own role in the campaign. And that is a big breakthrough. We know that there's a lot of depth and talent in this batting lineup, but key marquee man. That puts a little bit of pressure on this middle order again. You know, they flourished yesterday. It's hard to back up and do the same thing again. Here's Ravichandran who's tried. Ball's gone up. It's not for the naked eye of sliding well down the leg side. Not quite straight on here in the high school building. As you get to watch on the screen at home, actually probably have a better view than we do. Oh, this looks a little closer though. Again turned down. Making the ball talk here, Kai Wall, this morning. Forced the wicket of Wilson and then two plain misses. Even compared to 19, it seems to be pushing the maybe a tad quicker through this morning. Ravichandran off the mark. Two is Jack Wood. Comes in, we'll see him bowling his left arm as well at some point. In case if he's going to bowl his wrist in or his pace, he can bowl a little bit of both. Left in this over. Successful one so far from the Chargers, who are living up to their name at the moment in this tournament. Chandra takes on the fielder, pick up an easy one. So, like that, a great over for young Kai Wall, who continues his dream week in Sano. 23 for 2 at the end of the power play here, and I've got to say, Garth honours go to the men in black and light blue.
Yeah, most definitely. Been a great start for the Chargers. Team having not won the tournament, only two teams having not won the tournament in the previous 9 editions. It's Kansai Chargers. Their best finish is 3rd place, and that was last year. Another team to pick up the trophy is North Kanto. So Harish Ravichandran, he's come in 1 place earlier than he did yesterday, came in at number 5. We had a hymns in that 4, but today Savarish is coming a bit earlier. Perhaps just that right hand, left hand partnership. And the spinners again on top.
Sniper again. Tight against his left hand. But you make the point. It's good to have a mix of right and left here in this situation. Just to force Declan Suzuki to come into maybe a change or two. In a moment, I thought that was going to loop straight into the hands of the fielder in the end. And he gets away with it.
Pretty similar on ground 2. Just a quick update. North Kanto Lions batting 23 for 1 after 6 overs there. More, just making sure there is space, just moving the gully around a bit. Comes down the wicket, goes high. 2, 3 fielders all converging, but the ball falls safely. Valiant effort there. So pick that number up. Sprawling dive to no avail, but brilliant effort.
That man has run a long way around behind the bowler, probably a 30-metre run in between 4 fields. Not actually beast Suzuki in the column himself, but tried to get there with no luck. Can't capitalise on the full toss in a misfield. Maurice meanwhile scurried through the one, thinking in trouble at the non-strikers, and he might have been able to turn around and come back for a second, not to be.
You're right, it was Suzuki become supreme athlete, also a very handy AFL player. So he take some screening catches over the years for his national side.
The right side. On this occasion, big blow. Have they removed the Super Kings captain? I mentioned before, moving around. It's probably good foil for Suzuki to have this wicketkeeper, a guy who's played a lot of international cricket himself and knows the angles really well. Another good over. If you are a fan of the Chargers, 7 overs gone, 27 for Q. Round into the attack over to West Kansai. Second over.
Yeah, Williams' team love him to smear this wicket, Ravi Chandran's. Just pushes out onto the offside. So a comfortable single. He seems it down pretty quick, doesn't he, Josh Brown? Just watching over the ground too, off a short run up. Ball, perhaps looking to take this away from Shogo Kimura. Takes it in short and through to the keeper Patmore.
Yeah, no power play now, so wants it, bring a couple of fielders out. Before, deep point and deep third, and deep square with long on, so. Away from Kimura again. And as we mentioned, that sort of dual left arm opening bowling pair, himself and Kazuma Kato Stafford, the under 19s. Also, Max Yonakawa Lin is another left armer of promise too in that squad. Not short of left arm quicks in the country. Oh, shout and given. Yeah, I thought for in terms of the angle and where the ball ends up, it normally is the indicator, and umpire, no hesitation to raise the finger. This one going on to probably hit middle stump, maybe middle and leg, as you can see the replay. An easy one that. Kimura departs.
So no doubt will bring Charlie Hutter-Hims to the wicket. And still be wanting to continue where they left off yesterday. But as you say, the final delivery resulted in a run out for Charlie Hutter-Hims, but they were 3 short of a ton partnership. These two really took the game away from North Kansai. Kansai Chargers will be keen just to take the scalp here. Plenty of depth in this South Kansai lineup.
It's batting lineup, isn't it?
Nice, the Karawaki Fleming who came in and hit the winning run yesterday. So, under 19 teammates Kai Wall, Charlie Huller-Hins. Be a good matchup this one.
Hins happy to defend first ball, and to give you an indication of the Super Kings lineup, they could leave out Mihal Palmer today. He was the best batter at the tournament at the under 19 World Cup qualifier. Probably more suited to the 50 over style of batting, at least at the moment, than the T20 stuff, but yeah, that tells you just how much quality there is around at the moment. That's well played by Hurricane behind point. There'll be talk of two, and he does come back. Good piece of running. Those two fields essentially at that part of the field conjoined. The ropes almost next to each other, bringing the advantage a little bit on that side. The end of the 8th over, 34-3. Wait, what they'll do with the bowlers here, both, I suppose, pairs of bowlers bowling 2 over spells with each other, Tawari and Saman, and then Sniper with Kai Wall. Looks like we're going to get another change here. Bilal coming in, fifth bowler used for charges.
Yes, figures for yesterday were 1 for 8 Bilal. Just bowling the 2 overs for his team. Maybe Chandram on strike.
Start. I think we've got a marquee wicket over on field number 2. Brown dismissing Baisley. This might be 5 wides. Yes, it is. The signal wides, and then the signal of 4. Not the start that Bilal would have dreamt of when he was sound asleep last night, I'm sure. I'm hoping he was sound asleep.
Yeah, Patmore unable to rein that one in well wide.
Good comeback that from Bilal.
East Kanto Sunrisers having the bye this round. Opportunity to use the nets, but most of them are just milling around watching the game on ground 1 here. They'll be in action this afternoon. Taking on North Kanto Lions. That's on ground number 1 here.
Down the leg side. Another wide, yeah. We didn't get much of a chance to see that game on field number 2, their defeat to Kansai, but it was a similar case for East Kanto on the chase. They were multiple wickets down early, and instead of being resurrected by the likes of Takahashi and Ito Davis, they were able to emulate the earlier success. Hurricane takes on backward point and wins. Jack Wood there, unable to pick up cleanly. Chance we'll see him with ball in hand sooner rather than later.
Current score on ground 2, 40 for 2 North Kanto Lions. Audrey Hargrave Arbad, the new man to the wicket. both batting sides seem to be struggling, don't they? Just Tom Colbert, 13 off 32 balls over there on ground 2. It's been kept quiet. 13 off 33. Wonder when we see Kratska into the frame. Whether he'll be pushed up the order after yesterday's efforts. We've seen the ball like a basketball.
One stage, I was telling you the turn of difficulty up. It seemed too easy for him out there.
He's sitting at the top of the most runs scored in the tournament. 71 not out for Kazumasa yesterday. Not too far behind him, Ibi Takahashi on 66, Benjamin Ito 62, and then Charlie Harahins and Sabarish Ravichandran. Two players currently at the wicket for South Kansai.
Super Kings batting lineup, but you probably still need one of these two men to go on and make a score of note. Kansai keep the brakes on this pair at least for now. 9 overs gone, 37 for 7 with PSICG number 1. Haven't seen Declan bowl himself yet either. I'm not even sure if you're bowling option for the men in the field. Jack Wood, Suzuki from the comp himself. This man into the attack, Makoto Taniyama, senior international, of course, with his leg spin.
Yeah, wonderful story, Makoto Taniyama, isn't it? I learnt the art of leg spin bowling from watching Shane Warne's videos. Japanese Shane Warne, as is often known. She has the same birthday as the captain of the Japan national team, Kimberly Fleming. Starts well, but he's just hoped for a simple single for Ravichandran.
I last saw him in person. I watched a lot of the stream. Last time I saw him in person was a couple of years ago. Looks like he's changed his action a tad. Maybe in the T20 stuff he wants to push through a little bit quicker as well. I remember he likes to give the ball plenty of air at times, so wicket falling over on ground number 2. Updated in a moment's time. Educated backward cut from Charlie Harahins. Should come back for a third. Ravichandran quick out of the blocks and running to the danger end. Not sure exactly where Harahins wanted to look, but he knew he had that big gap wide of backward point. 30, and even 30 T20Is for Taniyama. Matches with status, of course. That'll caveat. It's taken a wicket every game, roughly. 30 from 30. Best bowling figures at international level. 35, or 35, I should say. Sold in the sub-regionals last year in South Korea as well. 5 against China last year as well. That was the East Asia Cup. This is a match for Ravichandran. That was the same match where Japan broke that world record, of course, for the highest men's T20I batting partnership between the number off the lake and Kenda Katawaki Tommy both making hundreds in that game.
Yeah, brilliant day that was. Was it 252? I think what the partnership was. I should know this. Interesting story behind that is that Kendall had a bit of a sore back, wanted to come off earlier, but given the signal from the management team, he was told to stay out there to knock the record off.
42 for 3 at the halfway stage. 258 it was for no loss. No loss rate 134 off 68 balls. And kind of like 193 balls. So, yeah, if you're a fan of China, the bowling card doesn't exactly read particularly pleasingly. The 32 off his one over. The boys feasted that East Asia Cup. They ended up losing the final to Hong Kong. It was close to Hong Kong, a good side at this level as well, but certainly not outside the reach of a team like Japan, especially in 2025. Of course, there's a chance they get.
Yeah, it's a good point. I'll talk on that after this delivery.
Down the leg side, 5 wides, I think. Not a great start. Oh, the skipper with ball in hand.
Yeah, they played Hong Kong a few times. I'll say probably 4 or 5 times. They're getting closer and closer to Japan, but really they need to go the next step and just knock off a team ranked higher than them. Currently 45th in the world ICC T20 rankings. Hong Kong probably sitting around the 20s mark, mid-20s.
Side.
Yeah, well taken from Alex Shagai Patmore. And some of these Ravi Chandran just almost questioning the umpire why no wide was afforded to the team. Did seem to clip something.
Yeah, it might have been a pad.
Well held from Shirai Patmore, but yeah, Japan really in search of a scalp of the team ranked, as I say. They've gotten close to Singapore in the past, Hong Kong, China. Yet to take a scalp. Saudi Arabia, another team that they've not managed to knock over.
Driven well by Ravi Chandran. He won though. Yeah, it's one of those things where you feel like once they get the first one, that just sort of triggers, and it's just that sort of mental block of breaking through, getting that one win, and then the world seemingly your oyster. Knowing how to win sometimes it might sound like a very strange thing to say, but you know, when you haven't experienced and you haven't got over the line once, it's hard to sort of make that breakthrough at times. So. PNG, the last, that regional qualifier a couple of years ago, where they definitely had their moments, and away from home were just undone by PNG twice. They struck it straight to cover. They were certainly the second best team of that competition, with all respect to Vanuatu and the Philippines. Vanuatu under par. Philippines are probably still on their own little mission and upwards path, but not that far away. I like to sort of, when I kind of put it to the Japanese senior sort of members, in the moment, on the up, there's a man out there who might be able to eke out a second here. Good piece of running. You get the chance to play PNG twice in that tournament. If you turn around, and I think I asked Dougal Bedingfield, Alan Kerr and Kendall Katawaki from one night in PNG, I asked, if you were to play PNG 10 times, how many times do you think you could beat them? And they said, look, realistically, we think we could beat them once or twice out of 10 at this point.
Right.
I think 2 years later, you can probably make a case that number is a little bit higher now.
Yeah, yeah, fair call.
Should be no fires. I've been talking to, I think the other factor to consider is that Papua New Guinea, in terms of their path, are probably on without trying to sound too harsh, probably heading in a downward trajectory rather than upwards, just given there's a few situations going on there and a few senior members of the team who have passed their prime. Into the leg side. They really should collect the second here as well, as the two fielders have to run around to pick up. I think two as we get to the end of the over. 53 for 3, 11 overs gone. I think there's been discussion, and having spoken to a couple of senior players in the group and those who cross with or cross paths with players from Papua New Guinea. We talked about it yesterday. You need that competition to build yourself up and be good. So the best thing for Papua New Guinea right now is to have a strong Japan. And I think the best thing for Japan right now is to have a strong Papua New Guinea, because if they're going to continue to play against each other in pathway events, they need to make sure that the teams are at their best once they get to the next level, because the AP, the region, is so desperate to keep that quality up. And at least in Japan's case, they've got the advantage of being in the ACC and taking on some strong opponents in that part of the world. It bodes well for Oman as well. So let's call it a hybrid East Asia Pacific Asia qualifier that is in place later this year with 3 spots for the World Cup up for grabs. Taniyama again. Good running across, can't quite get there.
Yeah, very true what you've just talked about wanting the region to be strong. Playing against better teams, the best way to improve.
Down comes Ravi Chandran, and 6 to the total. First real warning shot from Ravi Chandran in this rebuild. Need a few more of those, but good shot.
Yeah, used his feet well, and long off, just watching a sail over his head.
Wants to go again. And he should get 2. He just wedges in between 2 fielders. Paddles this time, manipulating the field expertly is the South Kanto Super Kings captain. Won't get 4, but Charlie Hurricanes will complete what turned out to be an easy 3. Not willing to take on wood.
Yeah, already this partnership's what, 37 odd, without any risk.
Charlie Hurricanes, he hasn't got all of this, and it's been well taken. Kai Wall running in and holding on. Yeah, that's probably the first poor shot, and it's been the downfall of Hurricanes.
Yeah, big breakthrough for Kansai Chargers. You know how dangerous Hurricanes and Ravi Chandran were. Took the game away from North Kanto yesterday with their partnership. But today, Kansai Chargers making a crucial breakthrough, and they'll probably bring Alistair Kadawaki Fleming to the wicket, although it doesn't look like Alistair, does it?
No.
Finally, Taniyama gets his man. wicket also falling on ground 2 for North Kanto. Update on that.
More than Mike Spurgeon, actually, just the way the number on the back of the shirt.
Yeah, he didn't get to have a bat yesterday, did he, Marcus? What was it, 5 wicket victory in the end?
It might have been 6.
6.
It was emphatic either way.
Godfrey Hargrave Arbad to fall on ground number 2 for 7. North Kanto Lions currently 56 for 4 in the 15th over. Perhaps the hero from yesterday for North Kanto was almost had Utska at the wicket.
Taking on Ravi Chandra, but what a reply from the right-hander inside out over cover. We've had some top quality shots of this tournament, and that one is probably in the conversation.
Here's Samad bowling this time from the other end, from the mountain side.
We can try and manipulate that gap again, but only for 1. Seems effortless for Sabor just to up the tempo when he needs to. Measured, kept sort of within his own game there for the first, say, 10 deliveries, 15 deliveries, but since then he's gone on and hit a 6 and a 4 in the space of about 4 deliveries in space. Oh, an edge. Too thick for Shirai Patmore to hold on to, and 1-2. Been impressive Samad today. He was on day 1. Chipping over to the leg side for 1 at Strange. South Kanto at 73 for 4 as we're well into the 13th over, and I still think to myself that with Ravi Chandra in, there's not a whole lot of panic in this group, and they know how deep their batting lineup goes as well. Oh, and he's gone. Just as we thought that we could sit and breathe easy for the South Kanto fans' sake, Abdul Samad rips one right past the opposition captain.
It's a big wicket for Samad, and his teammates know it. Coming in to give the individual so wicket falls again on ground 2. They're really struggling, North Kanto. So after being hit for a boundary 4, Samad gets his man Ravi Chandran. Big wicket. But as we've talked about, plenty of depth in the South Kanto batting lineup.
Mohammed Ibrahim now in for no sign of Alice Hadawat Fleming. Oh, and he's picked out the first slip. Abdul Samad will be on a hat-trick to begin his next over. The slip was in place and this has come off the face of the bat straight to the man. That first slip, a look at the replay. Almost catching practice for the man at first slip, you've got to say. Clarification on that first dismissal as well of Ravi Chandran. It was actually given out as caught, so there was a little nick into the keeper's glove before the bails were ripped off as well. Didn't notice that.
No.
Yeah, the law is sort of the first dismissal that occurs, and catch obviously completed before the stumps or the bails were dislodged. So.
The hero from yesterday for North Kanto, Ratska, has been run out. His team struggles at 59 for 5, just 4 overs remaining in that first innings. Taniyama with ball in hand from the school end here on ground 1.
Into cover for 1. Shaki Hassan to face up and face his first ball.
Just a 3-man out for Taniyama. Deep square. Deep cover. Played behind point. It's atmosphere, but it won't cost the team anything. Coming through his over is Taniyama.
Yeah, struggling to keep up, to be perfectly honest with you. Two noises.
It's a brilliant over from Taniyama. Just the one coming off it. Hassan, new batsman, of course, alongside Marcus Thurgate out there. Yeah, just talking to Benjamin Ethel Davis, we had a chat with him this morning. He found, having had games on ground 1 and 2, he definitely found ground 2 a bit more difficult to pitch. The ball's keeping low.
Hat-trick ball here for Abdul Samad, of course, after 2 wickets to complete the last over of his. Okay, on strike, the slip remains, the captain. And on the leg side, 3 inside on the offside. Big appeal, huge appeal, he's got it! That's a hat-trick for Abdul Samad's left arm orthodox. Yeah, I'm not too sure, Thurgate trudging off, I'm not too sure what he's made of it, maybe a little tickle or something on the way through, but I'll tell you what, if he's not hitting it, I think it's out. Hitting probably halfway off stump and either straightening on or going on to hit middle. Either way, proud moment. Abdul Samad picking up where he left off yesterday.
Yeah.
Now with 4 for 13 to his name, into his 4th over.
Yeah, he'll go to the top of the ladder for the most wickets taken. He'll overtake Benjamin Ito. Samad now 7 wickets in the tournament. It's just the second match, of course, for Kansai Chargers. The match earlier yesterday morning was abandoned due to a wet outfield. Brilliant figures for Samad.
Yeah, got a chance to play international cricket last year, around about the same time last year in that Mongolia home series. He's got 3 and 3, 2 slips in place now.
Yeah, it's good to see that, isn't it? I'd like that from Declan Suzuki McComb leading the Kansai Chargers.
What's up? The new batter for the Super Kings. Oh, for a moment I thought Jack Wood might have been able to outstretch with his right hand. Almost see him off now, SK. Shaki Hassan here. What a statement the Chargers have made for the tournament thus far. Turn and bounce for Samad this time.
Brilliant, wasn't it? Just the 3 boundaries have been scored in this innings from South Kansai.
A little high on that occasion, the question asked, but an easy decision that for the umpire. The Chargers could be the coasters at this point. They're going 75 for 7.
Yeah, in the end of Abdul Samad's 4 overs, 4 for 14. He's ripped through the South Kansai Super Kings batting lineup. You're right, just a few overs ago we were talking how, how paced Saudi Ravi Chandran. How we could perhaps see the team accelerating in these final overs. Well, it's all changed due to these wickets, the hat trick.
Playing this again in the sweat. I'm sure someone like Makoto Taniyama is licking his lips. Spino got team on the hop. Good shot that. Pick up, it should be 2. And we'll come back for second. We were travelling into the ground this morning, Garth. Exactly the trajectory we saw this game going after seeing how strong South Kansai were yesterday afternoon. And we know it's not the easiest place to bat in the morning, and maybe on day 2 of the tournament as well, and at the surface it's seen a lot of action, but I think this will be well under par. People are into the leg side. Racing through another over. Not giving the opposition a moment's peace. 78 for 7. We talk about ballpark figures, and even 3 figures at this stage not out of the question, but it would still be a tough task to eke out that 22 runs in 4 overs with your lower order.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what Suzuki McComb does in terms of his bowlers for these 1 or 4 overs, whether he tries to keep with spin and goes back to his seamers, himself included, of course. He's bowling the 1 over from Suzuki.
New bowler. Fujiwara. Top spin. Fujiwara. Only aware that someone's going to sweep out on the leg side and I'm going to line that too. Hitting with the leg side, put it down on the line. Facing Brisbane as well. One. Brisbane, I believe, was turns out for on Saturday. Turn and bounce again on Kubota. Good way to finish Fujiwara's first. 32-7. I will give him the opportunity to bowl at the death here, which is a great opportunity for the youngster.
Yeah, I was having a chat last night about the brilliant success of Japan under-19 team, of course, qualifying for next year's World Cup to be based in Zimbabwe and Namibia. Realising that 6, perhaps 7 of the squad are aged 16 or below, so they'll be in it for another cycle. Also, talk of a ACC 16 tournament, perhaps be based in Australia. Can't confirm that.
No luck, yeah. There's some murmurs about that around the traps, but nothing set in stone. I mean, I said that about a few things over the last week or so. Even the Asian Games details still a little bit murky at this point. He's actually done well to manufacture a single and all of that. Yeah, it's scary. The way that they were able to play in that qualifier and the ages that they're all involved with. Even if it's not this World Cup, the next one, you might have maybe improved performance. Should just be the one. And it's just the manner in which they won all 4 of their matches. There's probably one blip there against Fiji where they were chasing and targeting the 50. Maybe a little bit sloppy in the chase. They conceded 2 or 3 unnecessary wickets. Not that it really mattered, but well struck and wide of wood for 4. It's been a long time since a 4 has been scored. You're going to have to do a lot more to get to 3 figures, but at least there are some signs. Go a long way back to find the last boundary.
Yeah, beginning of the 13th over, I believe.
I'll cross-check that for you because I'm looking at the same numbers here next to you, Garth, and yeah, I think you're right. scoring at. Doing a fine job.
Just strain wide this one from Kyle, the youngster. It's the bat on this occasion, and that brings the end of the over. Just the 2 overs remaining. 88 for 7. We look across the ground too, another low scoring game. They're into the final over there. North Country Lions currently 76 for 7.
Fujihara again. Full toss. Mid off, but again, just one. Just being tipped off by Alan listening in. There's the West Zone from the under 16 point of view on the ACC side of things is actually going on at the moment in Doha. Reverse. Shot. Shiro Patmore has stumped his man. He was never in his ground. It's a strange piece of cricket that. Shiro Patmore, the presence of mind, he knew straight away. He hurled himself at the stumps to whip the bails off. But look at this.
It's bizarre.
And he knew exactly what he was doing. It was the easiest decision for the third umpire.
Well, Hassan will live to regret that. He struggled out there just as 7 runs coming from 17 balls. Bolter remains. He's there unbeaten on 8. Bizarre dismissal, really.
Once or twice in the 19s towards the back end of innings as well, where I don't know, just have lost their bearings each end.
Cross Muhammad to the wicket for South Council.
He's given that a good strike, but straight to the man who's put it down. He survives for a single. Went all over this. He's going to need all his pace bowling acumen in the second half of this game if South Council are able to salvage anything in this one. Bolter over the offside. That's a good shot. He'll get 2, you would think. Good piece of fielding out there, preventing the boundary and probably saving 2.
Yeah, looks to be Makoto Taniyama down there.
Kubota, man out there this time, holds on to the catch. So after dropping the previous chance, he holds on this time and takes Kansai's 9th. Fujihara is turning out a decent day with the ball now. With a bit of help with that stumping and catching the outfield.
Yeah, they're in danger of being bowled out. Here, South Kanto, 1 wicket remains. 7 balls left in the innings. Interesting to see who Suzuki Nakome goes to for that final over. Perhaps Tawadi will get the ball.
Down, South Council In danger of not batting out there. 20 overs. There's a real possibility now. In the over. 93 for 9. 6 balls remaining in the innings. Three big is the target now for Southampton to try and eke out.
Yeah, and just a quick update from ground 2. North Counter Lions innings has come to a close. 84 for 8. The allotment. Looking down the list. Just the 4 boundaries scored. 2 4s and 2 6s. James Basley was 18. Sigrana Thomas 16. So, a difficult score to defend, but as we say, Benjamin for Davis on ground 2. Not an easy pitch to play on.
Top edge. Shiro Patmore running back. Does well. And Kansai Chargers ticking all the boxes here on field number 1. Bowling out the opposition. South Country held for under 100. And while conditions have been tough, you would suspect that the Chargers have one foot in the door of another victory here to continue their unbeaten run. Tonight coming back to clean up the tail. It means they're bowled out for 93. And Garth Thomas, they've basically done everything asked of them so far, the Chargers today, and an opportunity to build and consolidate on their tournament lead.
Yeah, real chance here to go to continue their lead at the top of the table. Just looking through the scorecard, really the only score of note, Sabarita Ravichandran's 26 of 21 deliveries. The real story was the bowling department from Kansai Chargers, led by Abdul Samad, 4 for 14. We'll go to the top of the ladder in the bowling department in terms of wickets taken. A good support too from Kai Wall, 2 for 14 off his 3 overs. Fuji Hara at the end, 2 for 8. So all to play for. They'll take a 20-minute break. And with the return, Kansai Chargers, they'll need 94 runs to continue their lead at the top of the JPL.
We'll be back in a moment for the second innings, where the South Country Super Kings will be trying their utmost to try and salvage this one. Dos Muhammad and himself, the bowling group, eagerly out there and to pick up the quick wickets. We'll be back in a moment for the second innings here inside. players and umpires back out onto the ground. The second innings here in Sano. 94 required for the Chargers to charge even higher up. The JPL X table, year 10 of the competition. And a big task here for Savorish Ravichandran, fighting desperately to defend any single possible run. Meanwhile, on the other ground, already a wicket has fallen. Charlie Hutterhin's given the new ball. Left arm orthodox spinner taking on the marquee man for Kansai, Jack Wood. Slip in place. Sam Wilson at first slip. Two men deep on the leg side. And it begins just knocking one to skipper at cover. Off the mark is Wood. Might be talking two. Should come back, and they do.
Yeah, no surprises to see Charlie Hutterhin's opening for his team, South Kanto. Try and repeat the heroics of Adol Samad.
Oh, beats Wilson at one. Should run away. Yes, just. Marita chased valiantly, but it was the ball that won the race in the end. Goes high and long into the fence for six. Good comeback from Hutterhin's to Wood with the leading edge. Brisbane man survives though. Wood was a member of the Brisbane Heat last summer, still up contract negotiations next summer in the BBL. Well dug out by Wood. Good delivery from Hutterhin, who comes back after being hit for that 6 an expensive over, 12 off. A bit unlucky there maybe with the bottom edge early in the over. A good start though for the Chargers in pursuit of 94.
Tell me, Daniel, do the BBL have a draft system?
They do now. They brought it in a couple of seasons ago now. There's similar concepts. I think you can keep 10 players on your list from the previous year. I think all the squads end up being between 14 and 15 players, so there's some tough choices in that group. And then they go, yeah, all the players are sort of left out. There is some free agency negotiations, but then everyone else goes back into the draft again for the next summer. Overseas as well, I believe, only on mostly on 1 year deals, so can retain them, but being done through that sort of re-recruitment process year upon year. Here's Kohei Kubota. Patmore's first ball straight to the field. Yeah, only a new concept for the BBL. I think it was in large part just to make sure that the teams were evened up. There was a bit of equilibrium year upon year, and also the sort of volatility around the overseas players' availability year upon year as well, because there's a spate of T20 leagues now that go on at the same time as the BBL. So
Well, I think I saw in the news a couple of weeks ago about IPL looking perhaps to extend.
As if it wasn't long already.
Yeah, I know.
Play everyone twice and
Yeah.
the final system. I suppose when you've got that power and money, you can kind of do whatever you want. Real interesting change of field here. Stacked offside. 5 infielders plus the 1 in the deep. And man at short square leg as well. And that was always where Kubota was going to bowl that ball well outside the off stump. Just trying to take Shiro Patmore's leg side away. And I've got the feeling that's Josh Brown that's departing on the other ground. They might have put each other out. Baisley, Brown and Baisley today.
Classic.
We'll check that in a moment for you. Meanwhile, outside the off stump again, Kubota.
Yeah, Alex Shirai Patmore has been a long time member of the Japan national squad. Historically has played for Tokyo Wombats, more recently having to change to Sano Cricket Club here locally.
China Mother dismissed Josh Brown in the other field, so not quite the swap. Looks like that one again, maybe just holding up a tad.
It was just to start North Canton Need and defending near 86 runs. Of course, they started well yesterday, but partnership of Ravi Chandran and Hinge.
Oh, he's completely done him there.
Yeah. Great delivery from Kubota-san. Plays his local cricket for the Wyverns Cricket Club. Also played earlier on in his youth at Waseda University, a top university in Japan.
And he's one of the retained in the pre-selection before the draft, Kohei Kubota, end of the over. Maiden for Kubota, in fact. 12 for no loss. So yeah, just running through Chandran, Alistair Katawaki, Fleming, Kubota and Charlie Hurrihins with a pre-selected 4 kept by the Super Kings.
Right.
And then during the draft process, you were allowed to retain 2 players that were picked by other teams further down. 5 under 23 squad members in each team required. It's pointed out earlier as well. It's Hurrihins, one of those under 23 for South Country again. Oh, it's been bludgeoned straight at the umpire, and it's probably cost Jack Wood a run.
As the hand goes up from, it looks to be like Adam Burrs, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Having a little chuckle, I imagine.
I'm sure there's a lion lager there for Jack Wood ready for him at the end of the day, should he want one. We're doing a deal here at the JCA, 2,000 yen. All you can drink lion lager, and I almost handed in my resignation to Alan Kerr yesterday morning and said, you know what, where I'd rather be? I'd rather be in the tea room. I tell a lie, I think I'd rather be up here in the com box, but I can tell you what, if you're a punter around the Sano area, if you needed any extra incentive to get down here.
I'm surprised Stu isn't here. I think Stu came along to watch the under-19s. Australian living over here, teaching in Japan. Loves to come and watch his cricket here at Sano. It's a good deal, 2,000 yen.
2,000 yen, doing the boots.
Have you got your international driver's license
I
with
don't,
you, Daniel?
no, sorry.
Fortunately, I'm the one driving to the hotel.
Half a shout from South Concert crew, but there's on move. Little period this for South Concert after conceding 12 in the first over. Oh, a little inside edge, two noises as well. Should have Patmore flex one. Challenge for the youngster up against Jack Wood here. He's a fascinating character. He's a good man to have on the circuit. At the end of the over, 14 for no loss. Not only a pro cricketer, his elite cricketing career didn't happen by accident, but it was sort of accelerated a little bit by COVID. He was actually brought in as a local replacement player in one of the years of the BBL where COVID played a big part, and a lot of guys got rotated in and out, and he was one of the players who really flourished when being thrown to the deep end. Actually sort of bowled his left arm wrist spin with great effect. He's got a bit of an unconventional action, but it's actually been with the bat where he's actually come into his own.
Right, yeah.
And he's even bowled a little bit of left arm seam as well, and his talents are not just limited to the cricket field as well. We'll talk about that in a moment. You see Kubota coming in for over number 2. Fortunately for Sharaf Patmore, unable to connect, but he'll pick up a bye. Yeah, Jack Wood was auditioned on the Australian Idol December last year in Australia, and put in a pretty good rendition of Coldplay's Yellow. He's a singer-songwriter and plays guitar as well.
What a great song choice.
Yeah, tough one too. Didn't make the top 30 for competition, but by all reports put in a pretty good shift, and yeah, on the side plays gigs in and around, especially that sort of Brisbane and maybe even North New South Wales as well. There's a big music scene just south of the border, and sort of the Byron Bay part of the world. It does look like the type of guy who'd be knocking about.
Byron Bay.
Byron Bay, yeah.
Oh, classic. Well, you know what we're doing later tonight? Karaoke. Here's me thinking you're going to say he's got another sort of career in rugby or league.
He looks like the type of guy who could probably put in a shift, but be a local club as well.
He's got the athletic build, but the voice, nice.
Play miss. That's a good delivery from the Japan international.
Yeah.
Canny Kubota, isn't he?
No, he's the ultimate professional. Trains hard, works hard, listens, takes on any advice. He's a great person to have in your team.
Should just be the one.
Very humble, as are most Japanese. And sometimes I watch them with the Japanese team, and they all seem to be such gentlemen and kind, and work for the same New Zealand, and rugby especially.
You mean someone like Mongolia, real competitive edge that just,
do anything to win the game, within the rules, of course. But I see
Eventually given a wide, so
I see that competitiveness in Sabarish, Ravichandran, Declan Suzuki,
yeah.
We saw it with Kazuma Kato Stafford in the under-19s.
Yes, we did.
Key members in your team that can inspire teammates, their attitude to the game, and share competitiveness.
Patmore just found it a little bit hard to get going here. I think it's a touch slow. Yeah, it rang true of all 3 teams in the 19s qualified, but I think Japan especially just had energy all the time in the field, plenty of chat, and yeah, like you said, a little bit of that edge as well that came with it too. Whipped to the leg side. Hoping to come back, he will. And when we're sat here at the Southern International Cricket Ground, just tie up this over. 19 for no loss, 4 overs gone. Where we are positioned, the sound carries a long way, even up here. And the one thing I picked up wasn't just Todd Luckhurst's laugh on the tent on the other side of the ground, which happened a couple of times, but the energy and the chat in the field, and it definitely came in some pockets, but it just felt like a cauldron of noise, a cacophony of noise at times, and you just need that in the field, that energy to keep being up. You know, Niha Palmer was the guy talking almost every ball.
Right. Yeah.
Charlie Hurricanes as well. The Hurricanes boys together were both quite vocal. Gabby was the nominated short leg fielder for parts of the tournament.
He took a brilliant catch in there, didn't he?
I think that might have been Kaisei Kobayashi Doggett, but he was the other one that came in. No, I might have sort of stitched you up a little bit there, but they had too many in, and yeah, K-Dog as he's called, his mates was in there as well. That was in that late flurry of wickets where Japan went on to racing the qualification. There's really going to be one winner in that competition. If we're honest with ourselves.
Yeah, but that's good to hear your comments, because you know, watching the games live in Toyama, you can't pick up that how much chat has been had. A good delivery from him here. Yeah, so I certainly need it. I've coached a fair number of teams junior cricket where sometimes it's like a library out there.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing.
Wood will race through for one. Ravichandran launches at the keeper's end. Just kept them a little bit quiet here. Obviously wickets in hand is probably the modus operandi for Kansai, but I don't know, at this stage he's not sort of ballooned even after that big first over of 12. Been half a stumping chance for Fergate. Come off the pad. Struggling to get going a little bit here.
Short mid wickets just dropped back onto the circle.
Take on point for one. And the fifth over. They see the Kansai Chargers. No wickets down to begin their chase. 22 no loss.
And even though Shirai Patton was just 3 from 13, there's no cause for urgency, is there? In control of this. Wickets in hand, just maybe 72 needed. South Kansai needs to look for 2 or 3 wickets here if they have any chance.
Intrigue in the other game with 2 early falling in the chase. You see someone launch a massive 6 over there though. It's third forces a false shot out of Wood.
Yeah, huge 6, wasn't it? And it's Miyuchi at the crease. Dropped by the spectator in the crowd.
Oh, wanted to go again, Wood. Once more. Dicey one over on ground number 2. West Kanto Hurricanes 25 for 2 into the 6th over, chasing 86 for victory. And importantly, He-Man has got Brown gone, locking him a Yamamoto late 2. Keep coming up to the stumps now. Here on field 1. Oh. Sailed up in the surface, slower ball from Kubota. Enjoying this context, I should say.
He's bowled 5 dot balls to Wood. Here's Kubota. Another one there.
Oh, and for a moment I thought he chopped on the surface. And sometimes you can't really try and work the ball too square because that ball holds up, and you just play a fraction early. The inside edge sort of comes into play.
Can he complete his maiden, Kubota?
On the money here, back to back overs. Kubota. 22, no loss, 5 overs gone. That was his first over, and then his third over that both made. The second one went 4 in between.
Yes, you're right. Patmore just chased after Kubota then, gave him a pat on the head, saying brilliant over. Like against a marquee player.
Chandran in. Nice leg spin, bringing himself on. And probably knowing that the key phase in this game. Skip 3 for 1. They've got opponents, at least in terms of the the run rate point of view, needing to sort of rethink their approach, but very importantly know it's down in the chase as well.
Yeah, I think both teams, looking across the ground too as well, West Cantor needing 86 for victory, I think. Both teams, South Cantor and North Cantor, just edged out another 20 runs. I think game on, but I favour both batting sides in the chase here. Enough smart cricketers to know the game context.
Well guided from Shirai Patmore. He ends up turning himself down for a second, and I think it was probably the right decision. Just didn't quite beat that man who scurried across and did quite well to hit to 1.
Yeah, Kansai Chargers were to get up, Daniel, it would take them to the top, well, they are at the top of the table, but it would take them to 5 points after 3 matches.
Yeah, I think if you asked Declan Suzuki McCormick, he would have taken 5 points in the first 3 games. He would have almost done it without hesitation.
They'll have the bye this afternoon and game 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Be up against West Cantor Hurricanes, but I think a victory here would perhaps see one put in the final.
7 overs gone. Kansai just ticking along at 25 for no loss. No real run rate pressure as yet. Pretty mature knock this from Jack Wood, I have to say. Just game aware and knowing that he can obviously catch up at the back end, gives himself some time at the crease, and No need to look for the fireworks every single delivery.
Another wicket falls on ground 2. It'll be 4 down in their chase. Spoken too soon. But,
bit of a trump card here, this for South Kanto Super Kings, being able to deploy Dos Muhammad into the attack now. A real impression yesterday. Jimmy Faisley with a quick one that just hurried him up a little bit, and the guy who picked 41 in the draft, he certainly repaid his team in spades. A slip in place for him too against Shirai Patmore. And the side begins, so an extra to the total.
It's got some pace.
Definitely does.
And they pick up a chime here at Sano. Sano International Cricket Ground is actually what used to be a former high school, Tanama High School, a drop in population. They moved the students to a nearby school and created Japan's home of cricket.
Well bowled again by Muhammad. Can't add to the score.
Part of the cricket hubs here in Japan, Daniel, is about to revitalise cities that have dropping populations. As we know, Japan is a shrinking population.
Yeah.
A lot of people head to the big cities, especially in Sano, only 80k south is Tokyo, so every young people head there. But also this day, these people.
And what it's meant, and I'm no real estate mogul by any stretch of the imagination, Gus, but I've had a little bit of a look at some of the places around, and the housing prices around are awfully cheap. If you feel like a holiday house in a cricket town, Sano is there almost at your whim.
True.
No one out there, maybe done a little bit success from a financial point of view. You know you've got a home here somewhere. It's a wide ball across Muhammad. It's actually no ball. He throws a stretch there with his front foot. He takes a look at his footmarks. Got ourselves a free hit. Signaling there is
We're just in conversation with the umpires and exactly where it landed. Not the first to bowl a no ball from that end. It's the curse.
yeah, you're spot on, aren't you? I think we had maybe 5 yesterday, all at that end. I'm not sure if it's just that run up coming into the Parasar Mountains ends running in. We had mountain range, nice little spot there, the shrine up where we did a half day trip as well. If you're ever around Sano, I personally attest to that. Good little trek as well, but all those who love exploring. Free hit here into the leg side, and I think you'll get 4. Wasn't the greatest delivery, but credit to Shirai Patmore, who remained still at the crease and swiped well into the leg side.
Drama happening on ground 2 as well. Another wicket falls. 29 for 5 West Kanto in search of 86 runs. Super Kings. They could do with a wicket here too.
Good comeback from Dos Muhammad. Yeah, Sano, as you said, 80 k's out from the big smoke in Tokyo. You can do a day trip down there. So it's about a couple of hours on the train.
You join the local club, play for Sano. Nice welcoming club, full of international stars too. Koji Hargrave Abe has played for Sano.
Rayo at Sano.
Leo's at Sano, yeah. Yep.
He's not far here as well.
True, just a 5-minute drive.
Beat the man at cover. Bit of a sort of a billet situation here at times with guys sort of coming in for the tournament and being put up by people involved in the JCA or others around.
It's not a huge city, is it? But quite a sleepy town. A lot of players staying in various hotels, or the guest house, the infamous guest house.
It's much fabled guest house. I have to paint a picture in my head about what it sort of looks like, but at the moment it's full of the younger blokes that are turning out here, and tough to get a quiet night's sleep, I've been told. End of the over. 32 no loss, 8 overs gone. They're in control here. The Chargers, it must be said. Again, worth reiterating that, you know, in the chase of 94, there's no real need to rocket in terms of the run rate. He doesn't face a ball in the last over or so, and he remains at the one-strike again for another challenge as well. But
As you say, they're just two smart cricketers out there, aren't they? Aware of the context. 10 wickets in hand, just 62 runs needed. So it's a run rate required just over 5. Well manageable for these two and the team, but batsmen to come.
we wanted one, but it's not turned back. Yeah, Ravi Chandran, of course, captain the team and responsible for, you know, the draft selection and the way that all turned out to have 4th pick in the marquee draft. Half a shout from Thurgate turned down. They took Sam Wilson as their marquee with Brown, Baisley and Wood all gone. They took Kujiaka Fletcher to strengthen their batting. The top edge, but there's no men out there. Collect at least a second and remain 2.
Yeah, well, you know, could we see a new champion at JPL edition number 10? Best finish for Kansai Chargers has been 3rd place. It was last year.
The reverse. Shirai Patmore's found an open pocket of the ground. A man running around will also keep that to 2. Creativity for Shirai Patmore.
Yeah, he loves playing square up the wicket, this Patmore, rather conventionally. Using the reverse sweep. The cutter of the ball.
Smart and turned back by Jack Wood. Once again on the reverse, and makes that a little bit squarer. Still just be the 2 though. Good chase from 2 men converging. And all they need to do in that over
Yep, 6 runs coming from it. update from ground 2. West Kanto in search of just 86 runs are currently 30 for 5 to the 10th over there. Vinay Ayera at the wicket. Oh, I'm sorry, Hugo Tani Kelly.
Roaring motorbike goes past here at the SICG. I've got one trend that I've picked up on the traffic, just on this particular road that we kind of see how left. I want to bring up in a second. Sure, it resonates with me. With Dos Muhammad. The speed of the cars that drive past, I think the speed limit here is only about 50 kilometers an hour, but the preciseness of the distance between the cars and the speed of the cars, it looks like they're all kind of pulling in the same speed together, but they're not. It's a very strange kind of phenomenon I've noticed. They're all paced out very well. I know, like at home, you get told to kind of leave like 3 or 4 car lengths to the next drive, or 3 seconds, or whatever it is. But link side will be 5 wides. That's not what they wanted. The last thing for South Kanto to give away.
Yeah. Not ideal. Good to see the bounce off the wicket. Mahesh doing a good job here. As groundskeeper for Sano, new to the role. I think he's only been working for JCA for 2-3 months.
Yeah, very new on the payroll, yeah.
Great to have his expertise.
Yeah, he's put him up in a small house near himself too. I thought I know that was glove to beat, but not so. Does send him down at pace when he wants to, Dos Muhammad. Well guided. This will be a tough chase. I think it might beat the man at backward point. What a shot.
Yeah, and appreciated from his teammates. Some spectators dotted around the ground. Lovely shot. Catching up with his strike rate, now 20 off 30 deliveries. Both just pacing themselves closer and closer to this target.
Oh, I thought for a moment that was going to look right into the hands of Dos Muhammad. The deception here probably cost me. Kept the heart in the mouth there for a second.
With the sun breaking through, it's probably 22 degrees out there in the middle. Maybe get a spot of rain in the second match, Daniel. This one's no problem at all. Has its own mini climate, the Sano.
Doesn't it? Works well in the leg side again. It's starting to find the gaps. Should I pat more? 2 to the total. Yeah, the clouds kind of get stuck in the mountain range here at times, doesn't it? It sort of swirls around. Talking to Todd Luckhurst about this while he was here. And sometimes there's no real point looking at the forecast because this sort of pocket of the city just kind of marches to the beat of the different drum. Oh, keeper's missed it. I think 4 more. It might be 5. In fact, it is 5 wide. So over putting the Kansai Chargers well ahead. Well done, left side. Back to the replay.
It's 15 extras now. Still on 10 overs. Something to look at going forward. So I can't tell.
Good comeback, but it's very much a winning over for the Chargers to bring up the 50 in 10 overs. Hosting home, you would think now, and maybe an opportunity. We're not trying to sound too greedy. After maybe an early lunchtime,
Yeah,
maybe a little bit of extra time to write our match report for today.
I like how you put that. Pat more grateful for the break, I think. He's showering down the water. It'll be pretty warm out there, helmet on. Sitting quite comfortably up on the 3rd floor of Talama High School, JCA commentary box. Pretty comfortable in yesterday. The breeze got up a fair bit yesterday, but there is some breeze down ground side.
I did bring my jacket knowing that there's a chance of that Sylvania. It always seems to come in towards us here in the on box as well. Could close the windows, but I think we just enjoy the ambiance.
Yes.
The ground a little bit more.
Very true.
Have a hinge in. I think Ravi Chandra knows that he's going to have to play all his cards and go all in now. And even then it might more than likely not be enough either. Just know where you're watching on GCA YouTube also. Subcontinent as well. Well guided again from Shirai Patmore. Certainly enjoyed a lot of the strike. Really mentioned Jack Wood. At the other end, we've got another wicket on field number 2. With you on the pulse over there, Thomas, because
We're all just a little bit of partnership of sorts. I had a look. Hold on ground number 1 here. Yeah, I had a look before. 2 maidens. Real slow chase here. Obviously a difficult wicket, but 6 down now. West Kanto, just 38 scored in chase of 86 for victory.
and cult hero Ash Thurgate's got 2 for 9 off 3 overs over there. The North Lions. Harder wins into Shirai Patmore. With space of 2 balls in the space of about 4 overs here. Full toss. And it will beat the man. Running around from mid-wicket. Well timed from Shirai Patmore. Didn't hit it too hard, but it raced away and raced ultimately past the outfielder. Good over again if you're a charger. Watching on 11 overs. Over 2/3 into hitting away at the target. 63 for no loss. With a shoot of 94.
Yeah, they will be able to put their feet up this afternoon and glow in their victory, won't they? Afternoon game for Kansai Chargers. Next the final round robin match tomorrow against the Kanto Hurricanes, and then probably on to the final in the afternoon. Game's getting underway tomorrow at 10 AM and then the final 2 PM. Kanto Chargers perhaps in the final, Daniel. Who's going to join them, mate? Make a call.
We've seen enough out of everyone capable of going up against them. It's just a case of who's able to sort of piece it together at the right time. Budjoka Fletcher in. Patmore goes through for one and gives Chuck Wolf the strike. Don't recall seeing Budjoka Fletcher bowl yesterday. Maybe an opportunity now, maybe Ravichandran almost conceding. This one is all over bar, the screaming. Well driven by Wood. There might be chatted two here, but Shirad Patmore can get to the other end in time.
Well, Budjoka Fletcher didn't have a bowl yesterday. His brother did though. Brother Shima Budjoka Fletcher took 2 for 20 with his 3 overs. He's playing for East Kanto.
Slow ball. Patmore smart into an open pocket of the infield for one. Wood wanting to launch. And then get to the man out there collecting. It's really important for Kansai if they give some time in the middle to Wood and finish with a not-out score. Really build towards potentially a final appearance tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, well bowled Yorker. Jack Wolf actually turned around and acknowledged them as well. Maybe we can see more some other two broad Queensland accents in the middle of Sano. Big full toss this time around. Late the decision. Being given a legal delivery. So at the end of the over, Wood will retain the strike.
Yeah, Sam Wilson's been great. Just watching him in the field, Daniel, and hearing him. He's really, supporting his bowlers out there and just sharing his experience pretty much and professionalism of the game. Such a great addition having these marquee players flowing in from Australia to join the JPL, 10th edition. Best edition ever. Only can only say I've watched 4 of them, but
I'll take your word. I think one thing that I've sort of picked up from the JCA over the best part of 2 weeks is Steve changing in. Well driven by Wood. They really should be thinking about Sue and Shirad Patmore running to the danger end, backed up and giving fight. They're just always, I think the thing with the JCA has always been working with all the opportunities and all the, let's call them advantages, but they're not really advantages in the associate world, but any sort of connection that you have or any way you can kind of be creative and find something a little bit different. The JCA have really left no stone unturned by the way they've sort of gone about things. And you're looking at the national men's team captain in Kendall Kadawaki Fleming, I've just seen a 16 launched into the trees over on the number 2 ground. Good call from Wood to turn back with it. Kendall Kadawaki Fleming's expertise, not only as a cricketer but also in his professional life and connections he has in the region he lives. Well struck, man out there. My word, that is a good catch. Down low to his left, it's Charlie Hara-Hins. Tell you what, he's made that catch look incredibly easy, and it was far from it. Running to his left on the boundary, and the ball hit flat by Jack Wood.
Yeah, that is a good catch, all right. We were just sort of obscured with the side screen, weren't we? But how inches inside the rope. Just another facet to Charlie's game. Not only can he bat and bowl, he can also field. Quick update from ground 2. It's getting exciting. 61 for 7 now. Wisconsin. Sotawada hit that big 6 that we saw into the jungle, as Todd would term it. And it was your man, Ash Thurgate.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Ash Thurgate, 3 for 16 now. This is final. He's got 3 balls remaining in his spell.
North Kansai get the job done. I know who the happiest man over there will be. Rayo Sakurano will be the most relieved person in the same. Yeah. Ash Thurgate will be the happiest man in the same.
25 needed, 6 overs remaining yet. Will it go down to the wire, and will the batsmen take control for Wisconsin? Back here on number 1, Sabarish will continue.
Pankaj Churn at number 3. And then we call Saba. Always Ravichandran, wealth and experience. Probably in the conversation as being one of the most valuable players here at the tournament. He brings both ball and batting as a leader as well. I think just to push the field out a little bit and give Pankaj the 1. And Pankaj will take that 1. So 72 for 1, 13 overs gone. Just want to bring up that point that we were making briefly in the previous over. Think about the JCA as an associate member. Sometimes you feel like you're playing with one arm tied behind your back, but there's just there's always a connection, there's always some sort of in an opportunity with people that come to the JCA. They're all very versatile, working in the governing body, and of course getting an associate because you can't really just focus on one thing. You're ultimately doing a number of things, and because you're so multi-skilled and multi-faceted, it's meant that you can kind of do things more and be kind of greater than the sum of your parts. And with the JOC funding that's come through, there's a little bit more opportunity as well. But again, it's just about finding, every single kind of connection or friend or buddy that you've kind of got around the scene. Got coming in with his leg spin now. Short, wide of the man in the infield. I think just speed of 1. Andre out here filming the tournament. Dougal Beddingfield's old connections, and was involved in filming the test documentary that Amazon ran in the Australian cricket team Series 1. You've got men here playing as the marquees. The web of Japan connections across Australia and New Zealand and other parts of the world.
And Captain Kendall Kadawaki Fleming a part in that.
Yeah,
His
of course.
connections and players around him.
business.
Reporting extra media management helps on the Japanese side of things, so local media, it's tipped off, which is always really powerful. We saw local TV show up at the 19s World Cup qualifier talking to Ryuki Ozeki, who's local man in the squad. Working to the left side, Coach Chan. We talk of 2. 3 to 1. And you've got families here working, behind the tea room and ground staff, and even the players helping out with the covers, and it's just a case of getting on with it, isn't it? There's no one really with an ego too big to do anything here. Pretty soon they'll be asking you to have some cricketers to particular.
Yes, I'd quite happily do so.
From locked into the offside by Shira Patmore as they edge closer to the target. And a single. Waiting for us in the lunch break as well. This game heads towards the conclusion. It would take a miracle here for South Kansai to put it out of the fire. Seen stranger things happen, of course, but it makes it out in their favour.
The Chargers have played it well, haven't they? Just 17 required, 6 overs remaining. 9 wickets in hand. They will enjoy their lunch later on. No game in the afternoon for them.
Yeah, we focus on tomorrow morning.
Yeah, they'll probably go have a look at their opposition, West Kanto, who will be in this afternoon's matchup against South Kanto Super Kings. It's on ground 2.
Well struck, and beats the man in the infield, and will beat him to the rope too. So racing home the Chargers. And look at the squad's pre-tournament, and I have to say, Kansai's squad didn't exactly jump out to me as a favourite on paper. Just being able to hold their nerve in turning point moments, I think, from what we've had a chance to see here and having seen from afar, it's a team that we hadn't really had much of a chance to see on day one. A little under the radar. You'd almost say Kansai coming into the tournament.
Yeah, I think that draft's added an important element. In terms of evening up the squads of all 5 teams from the Kanto region, which is basically just watching this delivery from Savarish. Turn round the corner. No run for Patmore. Yeah, the Kanto, so there's North Kanto, South Kanto, East and West, which is a massive area around Tokyo and outlying districts, including Chiba. And adding to that, Kansai, the Osaka region. Leagues being played across the Osaka region. They come together and form this team. Kansai Chargers.
Should just be the one, yeah, it will. the over. And then in light blue black edge close and now the target just 10 off.
Well, another wicket falls on ground 2, and that could turn into a thrilling finish. 8 down now, West Kanto, 67 on the board, so the calculation over there, they need 19 runs off 4 overs. Only 2 wickets in hand. So, could we see our second match go down to the final over in that affair? Of course, the first day we had 1 match go down to the last over. Not very close though, was it? They needed 29 from it and then get close in the end. This is Kubalta back for his final over.
Keeper up to the stumps. Got 2 maidens today. 1/6 away from 1/6 of the way off doing it again. I can't see it happening, but very nicely. Jorge. Straight to the man.
Just a drone about probably 80 metres from us in front. Probably just capturing shots of the game. Quite nice to have that up on camera, isn't it?
Yeah. Have dreams of having that in the broadcast and beauty shot at the start of an over or something like that. Nice little shot out to the mountains maybe. We've got 2 camera streams to really accentuate the beauty of the place.
There's 10 away now. Kansai charges.
Oh, what's going on here? It's completely slipped out of Kubica's hands. We'll await the call from...
I think it may have landed in regulation space. After it completely heading skyward from Kubalta.
You can't give it a no ball because it was going to come down at crease level underneath the waist anyway.
Yeah.
So, very odd piece of cricket that.
Is he going for a variation ball?
Turn back. Tied at the stumps, but no luck. Towards the conclusion. Had just the one off the over, so when Kubica finishes with number 5 after 4 overs, an outstanding spell in the context of this game. Teams have been kind of seeing off.
Yeah, no, you're right. And a lot of those dots were the Jackwood, a key player.
They were really long, definitely, yeah. Through the changing ends. Pulling to the leg side. And I want to say that the run rate 10 off the last 4 overs is difficult, but sometimes it gets a little bit strange in the situation where you're just trying to finish the chase and you just forget where your next run's going to come from. Now, if sub is serious, you might just bring everyone in, but point, I'm happy to keep 3 fielders out. Oh, has he picked out the man at long mid-on? No. 1 bounce and over the rope for 4. Just waiting on that bad ball was Pankaj Chan. Not the final blow, but close to it.
He didn't play in yesterday's match, did he? In fact, Chandler. Spoons it to point for no run. Just inches away from a convincing victory, the Kansai Chargers.
Easy one. Dot ball to finish 2 meters over. Just 2 required from the last 3 overs of action. Fixtures in a moment. This concert Sunrise is taking on the North Concert Lions here on SRCG 1.
Chan, will he go big to finish it?
Not on that occasion. The other afternoon game on the Hurricanes against the Super Kings here after they were desperate to bounce back. Luke's over. They should run the second to complete the chase, and they do. Kansai Chargers remain undefeated here at JPL 10. The comfortable 9-wicket win inside 18 overs, the chase of 94 successful. And it's come off the back of a strong bowling and fielding performance to bowl out, on paper, one of the best batting lineups here at the tournament. They go to 5 points with the victory, extend their lead, at least for now, on the table. Gareth Thomas, Declan Suzuki-Macomb and his side have quietly gone about their business, but they've been mightily effective when they've had the chance after that morning day 1 washout yesterday.
Yep, they've charged into the final perhaps. They of course have to wait to see how the matches go, but unbeaten at this stage, Kansai Chargers just with the 1 more match remaining tomorrow morning. They get the bye this afternoon. Do tune in around 2 o'clock for the afternoon match here on SICG ground number 1 as East Kanto Sunrisers taking on North Kanto Lions. At the moment locked in a close finish, but it's the 2 under 19-year-old teammates Luki Ozeki and Hugo Tani Kelly just guiding their side home. Just another 8 runs needed, 2 overs to do it in, and 2 wickets remaining. But for us, Daniel, we'll be taking a break. Back with you in 2 p.m, just before 2 p.m.